The Brenham Town Musicians. They never reached Brenham because they were already home. The tale opens with 4 animals who believe they've been discarded. But that's the ego's first move every time. Decide who's valuable, who's not, and who gets thrown away. It chews up its own creations and spits them out when they no longer serve the role it assigned. The donkey, the dog, the cat, the rooster, every one of them thinks they're a victim of their owner. But victims don't exist in truth. Victims are characters in the ego's script. Each animal represents a different self-concept the mind clings to. The donkey is stubbornness, dragging around the burden of duty. The hound dog is obedience, shaped by years of pleasing others. The cat is grievance, curled up in resentment about what used to be. And the rooster is fear disguised as volume, because the loudest character is always the one trembling underneath. All 4 think they were mistreated by their owners. But the owners are symbols, not people. The owner is the ego mind that assigns purpose, demands performance, and punishes perceived failure. The owner of the donkey wanted labor. The owner of the dog wanted service. The owner of the cat wanted utility. The owner of the rooster wanted noise. In every case, the ego's love was conditional. The moment the form didn't meet the function, the relationship turned into disposal. But here's the metaphysical twist. They weren't actually thrown out. They simply outgrew the identity the ego gave them. The moment the mask no longer fit, the ego declared the mask useless. So they walk away thinking, I was rejected. That's projection. They're the ones rejecting the truth of what they already are. They're rejecting the idea that they've always been free. The ego's judgment becomes their identity. The victims become characters in a story of exile. Then they meet the so-called band of thieves in the woods. But these thieves are not attackers. They're symbols. They're the mind's own stash of guilt and fear, the dark corner where it hides everything it doesn't want to face. The thieves sit comfortably in a stolen house because guilt always sets up shop in whatever abandoned space the mind leaves unattended. The moment the animals stack themselves, make noise, and rush the house, what actually happens is simple. The mind confronts what it made. And guilt always runs when it's looked at. It can't stand a unified front. Not unity in form, but unity of purpose. That's why the collaboration is the miracle. Not because they work together, but because they stop identifying as separate cast-offs and begin to share one purpose, to see through the lie of being thrown away. And why do the thieves return later? Because guilt always returns when attention fades. Every spiritual insight will test itself. Are you sure you want to let this go? Or do you want to rehearse it one more time? The thieves coming back is the mind revisiting the same old story. The cycle of doubt. The temptation to reinvest in fear. But they don't need to fight. They simply shine the same light again. And guilt leaves again. And why don't they ever make it to Brenham? Because Brenham isn't a place. Brenham is awakening. Brenham is the recognition that they were never exiled, never discarded, never homeless. The journey was nothing but the decision to relocate consciousness from fear to purpose. They don't reach Brenham because they already reached it the moment they stopped believing the owner's judgment and began to see themselves as something other than the ego's leftover parts. The joy comes not from getting to Brenham. The joy comes from realizing there was nowhere to go. They were home the whole time.